Hello, welcome to the Southern Bible Thumper channel. For this upload, we will be reading 2 Samuel 9. And David said, "Is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may shew him kindness for Jonathan's sake?" And there was of the house of Saul a servant whose name was Ziba. And when they had called him unto David, the king said unto him, "Art thou Ziba?" And he said, "Thy servant is he." And the king said, "Is there not yet any of the house of Saul, that I may shew the kindness of God unto him?" And Ziba said unto the king, "Jonathan hath yet a son, which is lame on his feet." And the king said unto him, "Where is he?" And Ziba said unto the king, "Behold, he is in the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, in Lodabar." Then King David sent and fetched him out of the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, from Lodabar. Now when Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, was come unto David, he fell on his face and did reverence. And David said, "Mephibosheth." And he answered, "Behold thy servant." And David said unto him, "Fear not, for I will surely shew thee kindness for Jonathan thy father's sake, and will restore thee all the land of Saul thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually." And he bowed himself and said, "What is thy servant, that thou shouldest look upon such a dead dog as I am?" Then the king called Ziba, Saul's servant, and said unto him, "I have given unto thy master's son all that pertained to Saul and to all his house. Thou, therefore, and thy sons and thy servants shall till the land for him, and thou shalt bring in the fruits, that thy master's son may have food to eat. But Mephibosheth, thy master's son, shall eat bread alway at my table." Now Ziba had 15 sons and 20 servants. And then Ziba said unto the king, "According to all that my lord the king hath commanded his servant, so shall thy servant do. As for Mephibosheth, said the king, he shall eat at my table as one of the king's sons." And Mephibosheth had a young son, whose name was Micah. And all that dwelt in the house of Ziba were servants unto Mephibosheth. So Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem, for he did eat continually at the king's table, and was lame on both his feet. 2 Samuel 8. The chapter details David's additional conquests against the Moabites, the Philistines, and the Syrians. King Toi of Hamath salutes David with gifts after Israel defeats the people of Hadadezer, because they were an enemy of Hamath, who Hamath is Toi's territory. The chapter ends with acknowledging Israel's notable leaders. The current chapter, 2 Samuel 9, David speaks with his servants, inquiring about any of King Saul's remaining relatives. King David wants to show kindness to any of Saul's remaining relatives, keeping his promise in 1 Samuel 24. Summarizing 2 Samuel chapter 9. This chapter starts out with a conversation that David is having with one of his servants, Ziba. He asks Ziba, "Are there any relatives of Saul left?" King Saul was, the reason why this is happening right now. We know that King Saul was trying to kill David towards the end of his life because he was just so jealous of David being a much better human and leader than Saul could ever be. So he wanted to kill him. In this chapter, Saul is still pursuing David's life. And that was weird, pursuing David's life. He's still pursuing David in an attempt to harm him and take his life. What happens as he's trying to get David was hiding in a cave. And so Saul, as he is pursuing David to take his life, goes into the same cave to rest. David is close enough to him that he can cut off a part of his fabric of what he's wearing. When Saul and his men leave out of the cave, David follows. He confronts him and he says, "Look, I have a piece of your outfit. I could have killed you, but I didn't." And Saul says, "You know what? I'm a terrible person. I apologize. Just when you become king, don't destroy my name out of my father's house. You know, don't take the lives of my children. Don't wipe out my family, my father's family. Okay. So now that we are here in 2 Samuel 9, we learned in the previous chapter David wanted he's settled into his life as a king. So now that he made sure that God had a designated area, the Ark of the Covenant, that has a special designated area for God, now he wants to see if he can keep his promise that he made to Saul. So that's verses 1 through 5, the conversation. And David finds out that there is a relative living, Mephibosheth. So that's Saul's grandson, Jonathan's son. So the significance of this is, or another, I just want to point out the first time Saul's grandson was mentioned, it was in 2 Samuel 4. So this is the chapter where Saul's son Ishbosheth is murdered by two of his employees, and they behead him and bring the head to David, expecting a reward. So it starts out talking about uh, Saul or Ishbosheth's uh, employees, and then the narrative changes, and we start talking about Jonathan, Saul's son, Mephibosheth, and we learn that he can't walk or he's crippled due to an accident. His nurse dropped him. So David reaches out to Mephibosheth and tells him that he will restore Saul's land to him. He tells him that Ziba the servant and his sons, because it says he has 20 sons, Ziba had 15 sons, 20 servants. So that's 35 extra people that can help Mephibosheth. David tells him, "You'll be able to eat with me, and I'm going to restore Saul's land back to you." So, verse 12 also lets us know that Mephibosheth has a young son named Micah. And Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem. And it just keeps saying he was lame on both his feet. So, um, yeah, kind of like when we saw Rahab the harlot, it just kept introducing her as Rahab the harlot. Okay. Well, that is all we have for 2 Samuel chapter 9. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I love you. 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 Have a wonderful day. Like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great one.